Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm sharing with you my diary entry for the weeks of November 17th through the 30th. Today is Saturday, November 30th. So, it's been a couple of weeks. I am now on vacation, so that's great. I'm only on vacation for the 1 week though. We'll talk about that towards the end. But there was no video last week because I am starting to try to venture out and do some things, and I had a really enjoyable time, and I didn't film at all for you while I was doing those things. Well, I did a little bit. We'll see if I can get some of that footage in. But I'm going to catch you up on all of the things that I finished reading since the last time I talked to you. I do have a Yarnie update section where there's not going to be much knitting, but there'll be a bit of a yarn haul, including letting you know what's in the bag that I have on my thumbnail. And then we'll talk about what my plans are coming up for the month of December. So let's get into it. So let's start with the reading. So since the last time I talked to you, I have finished I'm the Grim Reaper, Volume 1 by Grave Weaver. This one's published by Viz Rated Older Teen. So this is a story about a woman who wakes up in hell. She has no idea who she is or what she's done to get there, but she ends up making a deal with Satan to become his Grim Reaper and reap one soul per day so that she can traverse the mortal realm and try to figure out who she is and what she did to end up where she is. In the process of that, she ends up crossing paths with an investigator who she thinks might be able to help her with her mission or figuring out who she is and what she had done. And so it kind of follows them like working cases and things together. It's a really interesting story. I just finished filming my Monochrome Manga Club series First Impressions on this, so if you want to hear more of my thoughts on it and The Strange House, which I talked to you about the last time that I filmed, you can check out my Monochrome Manga Club series First Impressions video down in the description box below. Also, I finished Volume 3 of Haikyuu. This is an omnibus version, but it has Volumes 1, 2, and 3 in it. I had talked to you the last time that I had read Volumes 1 and 2, so I've now finished Volume 3 as well. This one's by Haruichi Furudate, published by Viz Rated Teen. So this is about a high school boys volleyball team who had once been on the top and had fallen down the ranks throughout the years. And now with their group of incoming freshmen, they are going to try to get back up to the top. It's a really, really great story. I enjoy it a lot. This is a reread for me. I know you've heard me gush about this series multiple times this year. And on reread, I'm still really, really enjoying the story. And my members are enjoying it as well. And so, yes, 5 stars for Volume 3. We also read Volumes 3 and 4 of Tokyo Revengers by Ken Wakui. This one's published by 7 Seas Rated Older Teen. So this is about a guy who finds out on the news that his girlfriend from when he was in middle school had been killed. So it's many years, or not many, but it's several years in the future, and it kind of takes him back to thinking about those times and things, and he's kind of like a loner, doesn't really have like a lot of social connections and things like that. But then he goes to the train station one day, ends up getting pushed onto the tracks. Right before the train hits him, he kind of has this flashback of his times when he was back then with his girlfriend and things like that, and the things that him and his friends used to do. And it kind of takes him on this path of trying to prevent his ex-girlfriend from being murdered in the future. It's a really interesting story, and it kind of, is one of those stories that changes as he does things in the past to the future, and you can see like how things he had done changes things in the future and things like that. and, the choices that he makes and things. It's really interesting. I am glad that I'm reading the series with our members, because we're having some really great discussions on it as well. They're all familiar with this series, so I'm the one that's new to it, and they're just having a good time, and I am having a great time because I'm hearing all of their enthusiasm for the story. And they're having such a hard time not letting things slip for me so that I don't get spoiled, but just hearing them talk about things is great, and I'm enjoying it a lot. One of the things, though, about this series is our main character, who's not the guy on this cover, but he's the guy on the very first cover, he gets beat up a lot, like severe beatings. And, there's gang activity because he was affiliated with a gang when he was younger. And there's just a lot of beatings. And it amazes me how much that didn't affect him, like physically, when he had been an adult. And so, yeah. It's still a really interesting story, though, and all of how he's striving to, make those changes and hoping that that's enough. It's just, you really want to root for him, and I'm enjoying watching his journey and seeing things. And so it's been really, really nice. So I enjoyed this one. I gave it 4 stars. Only because there's so much fighting. And like I say, he gets beaten pretty badly. And so, yeah, 4 stars is still very, very good. But I'm very interested to see how this story continues. So I'm really, really enjoying it. It's a fast read for me, too. I'm finding that when I read those volumes, I just fly through them. It's like super fast. I'm like engrossed in the story, and I think I'm really, really going to enjoy it. Plus, there's an anime adaptation, which I'm definitely going to want to check out once I'm finished with this series, and so I'm looking forward to that as well. And so that's all of the manga that I finished. All of that was from the Monochrome Manga Club. And then I have finished 2 books since I talked to you last. So the first book that I finished was I'll Be Home for Mischief. This is the 5th book in the Christmas Tree Farm mystery series by Jacqueline Frost. This is a cozy mystery series about a woman whose family runs this like holiday festivities like area where they call it the Reindeer Games, which is adjacent to their like Christmas Tree Farm. She is now added on to that, where they now have an inn where they are able to host people and things. And in this particular installment, the town is trying to make a world record. And so the world record that they're trying to do is to bake the largest gingerbread man for the record. And, it's taken multiple hands and lots of planning and building the mold and all of that. And they're finally ready to, like, get the gingerbread baking underway when a dead body is found in the mold. And so our main character, Amateur Sleuth, is trying to find out what had happened to said person. It's got all your classic cozy mystery tropes where, the love interest of our Amateur Sleuth is the sheriff of the town, and she just can't keep her nose out of things. But it's a really, really fun holiday feels type of cozy mystery series. We had read the first installment of this one for the Book One Cozies Club, my cozy mystery book club that I ran for 5 years on my channel, and I've continued to read them as the installments come out. At this point, I am up to date. This is the most recent installment, And I enjoyed it. Now, I will say that this probably wasn't my favorite installment in the series because for me, Holly, who's our main character, she seemed really self-centered in this story. Even to the point where sometimes she sounded really whiny about things. And I did listen to this one completely on audiobook. I'm not sure that it would come across the same way if I had read it with my eyes. But yeah, some of the things that she was saying as like internal monologue just rubbed me the wrong way. I found her thinking to be, like I said, very self-centered. I can give you an example, and I don't think that it would be spoilery at all because it has nothing to do with the case per se. But there, as with every like cozy mystery series, our amateur sleuth gets into trouble, right? Gets into some kind of dangerous situation, and that prompts her family to want to put in some security measures, right? So they want to put security cameras up at the inn to help keep her safe. And she doesn't want that because it'll mess with the historical look and feel of the inn, and it will take away from the aesthetics and things like that. But her family is very concerned for her safety. And so she's like, well, kind of like, of course I'm going to lose because the inn is like on her family's property and things. And so her parents have first say. And she just seemed like a whiny brat about it. Like, hello, your family is trying to keep you safe. And since you won't keep your nose out of this investigation, even though everybody has asked you to, and you've gotten yourself into this dangerous situation, you still won't stop. They want to try to protect you, but she just, I don't know, it just came off really, really whiny, like a kid who was having a tantrum. And I don't know, like I said, if it was just the way the narrator had narrated those passages or how, the interpretation of those lines by the narrator was. And I don't know if me reading it physically would have changed that interpretation for me. But there were other instances within the story where she came off like that to me, and I did not enjoy that. I did not. And so I still gave this one 4 stars. It was still really enjoyable, still had the same holiday feels. And it will be a series that I continue reading as the installments come out. And so enjoyed that one. Definitely got me off on the right footing for where I want to be and how I want to feel for December. Those festive vibes. And that particular series, the town always comes together for something. In each book, the town comes together for something. And it's just really cozy. There's a woman in the story that I just really enjoy her. And so, yeah, there's lots of things to enjoy about that series in general. It's just this particular installment had a few things that just bothered me a little bit. Still really, really enjoyable. And if you're looking for a holiday cozy mystery series to get into, I definitely recommend the Christmas Tree Farm Mystery Series by Jacqueline Frost. So the other book that I have finished since I talked to you last was Key of Valor, which is the 3rd book in the Key trilogy by Nora Roberts. I was reading this one for Nora November, which is a reading event that's hosted by my friend Storm Reads to read Nora Roberts books in November. So I finished off this trilogy. I really enjoyed it. It's about 3 women who are tasked with finding the keys to kind of break a curse that is centuries old. And so each book in the trilogy follows a different woman that in this task, and it kind of brings a group of people together to try to overcome these things. And I enjoyed it. It definitely has a little bit of mythology, Celtic mythology woven into it. It's kind of your classic good versus evil kind of story. And I really enjoyed this trilogy overall. Now, I would say that the second and the third books, the two characters that those books are more focused on, kind of connected with me a bit better than the first one. Because the first book, the woman's really into like art, and I know nothing about art. I'm not good in art at all. So there was a little bit of a disconnect with me with that character. But the second book, she's a librarian, so there's lots of talk about books, and there are other things that involve like bookstores and libraries that occur throughout this story that really helped connect me to that character. And then this third book follows the last woman who's like trying to find her key, and she is a single mom. She had her child when she was a teen. And so it kind of also talks about her, getting back out into the dating scene and her struggles with trying to, open her heart again, and all of the prejudices that she had faced being a young single mom, and how her, mother, her, family situation and things, how her mother reacted when she found out that she was pregnant and things like that. I can say that I can connect to a few of the things that our character had gone through. And so on a personal level, I connected with her quite a bit as well. Though there were things that she did that really bothered me, especially with her running hot and cold a lot during the story. Like, I understand why, but at the same time, she had these severe mood swings that even for me, I was like, dude, do you know what I mean? Like, I understood where she was coming from, but I don't think she reacted well to things. And so, yeah, it was still an enjoyable story. I think this one pulled at my heart a little bit more because we also have scenes with her kid, and her kid dealing with her, kind of dating for the first time since he's been born. And he's like 9 or so. And there were some just really heartwarming moments in this book. And there's a sense of found family as well, not only, with our one character and her, getting back onto the dating scene and things like that, but with the 3 women that are involved in this quest. And I've said before that I really enjoy stories that have, a quest element. And this was a series that my mom had recommended to me because Nora Roberts is my mom's probably favorite, I would say, author, if not only the most read author by my mom. My mom's read everything, I think, that Nora Roberts has ever written. She is completely up to date with the J.D. Robb series. She's read so many of Nora Roberts' books. She continues to reread Nora Roberts' books. So I thought, let me ask her if she can recommend me something and give her a little bit of parameters and things. And when I told her that I really liked stories with quest elements in them, this was the trilogy that she had recommended to me. So I started it earlier this year. I was able to finish it this year, and I am so happy that I was able to do that. And I really enjoyed this one. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. Gave the whole trilogy 4 stars. Definitely enjoyed this one a lot. And I think I'll be exploring a few more of Nora Roberts trilogies from here on out. I just recently asked my mom which ones she really enjoyed, and she gave me another couple. And so I think I'll be checking those out sometime next year. Definitely not in December because I've got other plans for December, but definitely something for me to look into in 2025. So really, really good reading since I've talked to you last. And so that leaves me with the only book that I'm currently in the middle of, and that is A Sleigh Ride Together With You, which is the 7th book in the year-round Christmas mystery series by Vicki Delaney. So this is another holiday cozy mystery series that we again started with the Book One Cozies Club, and I have read every installment since. And so this was the most recent release. It came out earlier, like this year. I think it was like in September or something. And so I decided to go ahead and pick it up. So this one follows a town that is called Rudolph, and they're like Christmas all year. So it follows a woman named Mary, and she owns a store called Mrs. Claus's Treasures, I think. It's like a little like holiday trinket shop where they sell holiday decorations and toys and things, little gift items. And her father, whose name is Noel, he is the town's Santa. And so it's like another one of those towns where it's, you know, a vacation destination. It brings in lots of tourists because of their, like, the theme of their town and things. But all the installments in the series do not occur around Christmas. So this one happens around Easter. And so far, I'm about 5 chapters in, and there's no, like, mystery. Not really. Like, there's something going on, but there's, like, no dead body. And in every other installment in this series, there has been a dead body that Mary has gone and tried to figure out what has happened to them. And so this one, her best friend, who also runs a bakery, a very popular bakery in town, is getting married. And her fiance are buying a house, and it's kind of one of those houses that have a lore in town, and like lots of the town people are like whispering and things about why they're buying that house and don't they know, you know, kinds of things. And so nothing's really happened so far. I think I'm about 20%, 50 something pages in. And so I'm kind of curious to see, like, I presume there's going to be a dead body because Slay is Slay. And so, yeah, normally by this time of the book, in any cozy mystery, the dead body has already arrived. So no dead body yet. I presume it's going to come sometime soon. Unless this one has nothing to do with a dead body, but then why Slay Slay? In any case, I'm enjoying reconnecting with our characters. And, you know, there's one character in this series who's actually one of Mary's employees. And she always gets on my nerves because she's like so entitled. And while she does a good job for Mary, there are just some things that she says and how she acts and things like that where I just don't like her. I don't like her. But the story overall, like this series, I really enjoy. And I enjoy, like, hearing about what's going on in town with our amateur sleuth and her family and you know, things like that. Like, the whole, like, Christmas all year round town and the things that are being baked. And there's, like, you know, a hotel in town that has been featured a couple times, and just all of the happenings around town are very interesting. I enjoy our cast, and I look forward to revisiting them every year. So I'm interested to see where this story is going to go in this installment, and I have no doubt that it's still going to bring all of the holiday vibes, because even though it's supposedly around Easter, you know, it is a Christmas all year round town. And so, yes, enjoying that one, but that's probably going to switch over to audiobook because of my December plans. So I'm going to leave you there for now, since December plans we'll talk about at the end of the video. But I think that's going to bring me to the Yarnie update section. So let's get into another Yarnie update. Okay, so I have quite a large Yarnie haul for you. So I've got a couple of Yarn Club subscriptions that have come in since I talked to you last. So let me get through those first, and then we'll get through the bigger haul portion after that. So we're going to start off with my Kindred Spirits Yarn Club. This is a club from Little Skein in the Big Wool, and it is an Anne of Green Gables inspired yarn club. And so I get one of these skeins every 2 months. And so this October and November skein is called Golden October. And it looks like this. And so she usually does some kind of like fall color yarn around this time of the year. And the colorways always are inspired by a scene in the show or the books. And so, yes, the Yarn Club is on her cashmere blend. So it is 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, and 10% nylon, 420 yards, and 115 grams. So, yes, really, really nice color. And so that is the first of the yarn clubs that came in. Then I got in on the Big Little Yarn Club Company Anime Mini Club, which is a 3-month yarn club. I only ordered 2 of the anime clubs for this release. And so those came in from Japan. Big Little Yarn Company is dyed in Hyogo, Japan. And so the first of the sets that I got, because I ordered the sock set, was Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. So this is Kimetsutai and Tanjiro on her trusty sock base, which is a 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, 437 yards, 100 grams for the full skein, and 87 yards and 20 grams for the mini skein. So you'll know that I have purchased some anime yarn clubs from Hawari Bazaar, and I already had knit up our Demon Slayer set. So this is a different take on the Demon Slayer, and so had to have that. And then the second one that I got was based on Ouran High School Host Club, which is another series that we had read with the Monochrome Manga Club. This is Ouran High School Host Club and Sakura Kiss, which Sakura Kiss is the theme song for Ouran High School Host Club. Again, on her trusty sock base. And so had to get that one. I'm not sure if I have an Ouran High School Host Club set from Hawari Bazaar. It is possible that I do. But as you know, I have been very laxed in knitting up my anime yarn club sock sets. And so, yeah. Anyway, I am really glad to have both of these from Big Little Yarn Company and excited to add those to my collection. I'm just not into knitting socks at the moment. So eventually I will get these knit up. And then the last of the yarn clubs was from Hawari Bazaar, but it was not an anime yarn club. So the anime yarn club for October was not an anime that I had interest in or have watched or anything like that. And so I skipped it, but she also does a K-pop yarn club, and the group that she had chosen for October, I absolutely had to have. And so this is Super Junior. So this is the K-pop October Yarn Club, 75-25 superwash merino nylon, 463 yards for the large skein, 92 yards for the mini skein. This is on her Nova sock base, I believe that's what she calls it. And I always get the sock set. So Super Junior was one of our first K-pop groups that we followed, and we still follow to this day. So I had to have the Super Junior sock set. I think the only other K-pop club sock set that I've gotten has been Big Bang, which is another one of the groups that we really enjoyed when we first got into K-pop. And so, yeah, I had to get the Super Junior. Plus, look at the colors. The colors are absolutely my colors. And so, had to add Super Junior to my collection. So, really, really happy with all of these. And so that's all of the yarn subscriptions that have come in. Now, why I wasn't able to film last week was because I went to a yarn or a fiber festival. I've never been to a fiber festival before, but this one was close enough that I was just like, yes, let's try to go to that fiber festival. I didn't know what to expect. I always see videos about people going to like the super big fiber festivals like Rhinebeck or Stitches, and it almost seemed like too overwhelming for me because there's just so much. Even just like looking at other people's videos, I think if I had gone to those types of fiber festivals, I would have been too overwhelmed, too overstimulated. And so, like, I don't think I will ever go to Rhinebeck, even though I love watching everybody's, like, videos from Rhinebeck. It's just too much for me, I think. But this was on a smaller scale. And I thought, you know what, let me give it a go. Because the vendor list for this fiber festival had several vendors on it that I have been meaning to purchase from, and it would be a great opportunity for me to purchase from them in person. And so that's what I did. So I have all of my purchases in this bag. I had a thought in mind when I had gone through, and I had decided before I had even gone to the fiber festival that I wanted to do a Stephen West treasure trove sweater, and that I would purchase one skein from a bunch of vendors to make my yoke for that sweater, and then it would kind of be like a memento sweater as well, because I bought all of this yarn at this fiber festival, right? And so I got an inspiration photo, and I picked the colors up based on that inspiration photo. And so that's kind of the mission that I had gone into this fiber festival with. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull those skeins first, even though I have bought more from some of the vendors, and then we'll just like go through. So we'll do the skeins that I picked up for the treasure trove sweater first. So the first skein I have here is from Gems Luxe Fibers. So I think their like theme is like Greek gods and Greek myths. So this is on our Luxe DK base. That's the other thing. All of the skeins that I bought for that sweater are DK. So this is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 245 yards, 100 grams, and this color is called malachite. So that is one of the skeins that I got. This skein, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there was a little bit of like fuzz down here. And she had another skein, but the color was much lighter, and I needed for my plan, I needed this color. And so she ended up giving me a discount right off the bat because of the kind of fuzz here. And so that was really, really nice of her. And so that's one of the colors I'm going to use for my treasure trove yoke. I got another one from Buku Yarns. This one is called Blue Velvet on their Supernova DK, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 245 yards and 100 grams. And so that was nice. From Seismic Yarn, I got this one's called Lust. So this is actually a sport weight yarn, but I looked at it in comparison to the DK, and this seems like a plump sport because there doesn't seem to be much of a difference between the sport and the DK. She did have DK, but the red was a different hue, and this was more of the hue that I was looking for in the colors that I wanted for my yoke. And so I just decided to go ahead and do this. So this is their Butter Sport 100% superwash extra fine merino. So this is 328 yards and 100 grams. And so a really, really nice red. It's coming out a little bit more orange on screen, but it's a nice, like, blue red. It looks like a blue red to me. So I don't know why it's coming across orange on the screen, but in any case, got that one. And then from the Royal Bee Yarn Company, this one is in their DK base, 100 grams, 100% superwash merino, the color Dandelion Tea. So the Royal Bee Yarn Company was the very first stall that I had visited. And I've been following them for a while on Instagram, and was really, really nice to see them at the yarn festival and squish all of their yarn. Just a really, really nice shop owner as well. She even remembered me as I was walking out and asked if I was going to be back the next day, and you know, things like that. And I was very surprised because, like I said, she was the first stall that I had seen that day. And just such a nice lady. Very, very happy that I was able to make a purchase in person. And so, Royal Bee Yarn Company. Then I got this one. This is from Teal Torch Knits. So this is called Tall Drink of Water. And it's on their DK base, 75% superwash merino and nylon, 246 yards, 100 grams. So that's that one. They were right next to Seismic Yarn. And then the last skein I actually got in a set. So I got this doodle set from Yarnaceous Fibers. This is in her Bronto DK. So it's 85% superwash merino and 15% nylon, 246 yards for the full skein and 49 yards per 20 gram mini. In her Graveyard Ghouls tonal kit. I'm actually going to use this skein for my yoke. And so let's see if I can put the skeins together. Not necessarily in this order, but these are the colors that go with the picture that I had used for my inspiration. And it was actually a picture that is of a Demon Slayer character called Muichiro. And so, yeah, it was some kind of like artistic styling of Muichiro from a Japanese Twitter post. And so I got these colors to go together, and yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really nice memento. And I've wanted to do the Treasure Trove sweater for a bit. And I think these colors are going to look really, really awesome in a yoke. And so I just wanted to get the yoke colors because hand-dyed fiber is quite expensive. And I just, if I had bought a full sweaters quantity from one vendor, I probably would not have been able to spread the love. And so that's what I got for my treasure trove. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these minis, but I thought they'd be nice to just like have on hand if I wanted to do like DK socks or something. But yeah, Yarnaceous Fibers was one of like the people that had a doodle bar. So the doodle decks by Pacific Knit Company are very popular right now, and they had a bunch of kits and things for like doodle cowls and fade sets and things for doodling, and they had a bunch of the doodle decks as well. And so that's what I had bought for that plan. And then the rest of what I have in here were kind of purchases without plan. And so I bought quite a bit from Seismic Yarn. She does a lot of black light reflective colors. And so one of the things that caught my mom's eye was this mini skein set called Pretty Pretty Princess Speckle. So it is a 6 skein mini set on her butter sock base, which is 85% extra fine merino, 15% nylon, 87 yards, 20 grams. So there's 522 yards in this set. And it says include speckles of Material Girl, Men at Work, Not So Mellow Yellow, Peridot, Blue Monday, and Purple Rain. And so my mom kind of wants to have a shawl that uses this. So again, bought the what's going to be the pops of color in her shawl, and we'll eventually get her some plain, probably white, to make up the rest of the shawl. So we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with this, but she definitely was very, very interested in that set when she saw it. And then for myself, I bought the Unmasked Rainbow set of Volume 2. This is on her butter sock base as well. This is 85% superwash, extra fine merino, and nylon, 87 yards. So it's on Dr. Q, Biohazard Man, B127, Chen, Arthur, and Helena. And so these are all like black with variegated, not variegated, but like pops of color. She had actually done a koi tee with this set and her dark side or something color, which is her black, and it looks amazing. It's on her Instagram if you're interested. But yes, really, really had to have this. And it was hidden. I thought she had ran out. But thankfully, I had seen it under a couple of other skeins. Like somebody must have just like piled the skeins on top after they were done looking. And so I was able to pick up one of these. Very, very excited to have that. Then from Magic Land Yarn, which was across the way from Seismic, I got this DK mini skein bundle, which MINNIE, because it's a Disney inspired yarn company. So this is 100% superwash merino. There are 5 mini skeins, 54 yards, 20 grams. So this one is the Villains collection. Hades, Unfortunate Soul, Be Prepared, Extract of Llama, and Mistress of Evil. So the daughter really liked these. And so the thought is that we're going to do the same thing with this. So we're going to get a gray and stripe these in. So that was really nice. It's a little bit more difficult for me to like pick up things because I know that I'm not like knitting socks right now, and all of like the samples and things, there were a lot of shawls or single color sweaters. And while all of that is gorgeous and stuff, they're not things that I gravitate towards for knitting for myself. And like I could not like do a full, like I said, sweaters quantity of hand-dyed yarn even if I wanted to, because for my size, the amount of money that would go into one sweater's quantity of yarn, it's an investment. And so I thought that the best way to spread my money was going to be the way that I did it. But it kind of was a little bit more difficult because part of going to a yarn festival, I think, is getting all of that inspiration. Like, you know, you see the finished knits, right? And patterns that you might want to knit. And for me, there wasn't any like on display. And so that made it more difficult to me. And when I was like going around and looking at the stalls and things, you know, they'd ask what you were thinking about doing. And, you know, eventually it would come around that, oh, I really love this like variegated skein of yarn. Or my mom was like in love with one of the yarns from the Magic Land yarn. And she didn't know what she'd do with it. And all the responses were make a shawl, make a shawl, make a shawl. And if you know me, I don't use shawls. I've tried to knit a couple and I was successful once, and that was for a gift for somebody else. I have a shawl on my needles that's unfinished. And it's because I don't use them. I should say I have two, because I do have one for myself. But it's just sat in a bag. I haven't ever used it. And so, yeah, make a shawl is not the way for me to go. So it was a little bit more difficult to try to like go into a stall and try to figure out like, okay, I like this, but what am I going to use it for? Do you know what I mean? So while I had some plans before going in and I had acquired those things that I needed for the plan, it made it a little bit more difficult for me to just like buy off the fly, because unless I was going to make socks with it, it's like, okay, what am I going to do with this? Do you know what I mean? In any case, long tangent, I have more stuff. So from Hello Gabby, I got these stitch markers, or stitch stoppers. So these go on the end of your knitting needles. And they're the like McDonald's Halloween buckets. So I had to have those. Had to have those. And then I got these from Stay Cozy Crafts, I think. They're little winter penguins. These are like all the rage now, these types of needle stoppers. And then I got the polar bears, also from Stay Cozy Crafts. I got these as a free gift from Yarnacious Fibers. They're like turquoise dinosaurs. And then I got these from Stay Cozy Crafts as well, the turquoise mushrooms. They had red ones too, but I'm like, gotta have the turquoise because that's my color, right? I got some Tuft Woolens wool wash. I always wanted to try this. So one of the vendors had them, and I got the eucalyptus lemon scent. And so I think that's going to be really, really nice. Not that I absolutely needed wool wash, but I thought this is my opportunity to get one, and so I'm really excited to get into this eventually. So I also got this from Seismic Yarn. This is buttersock base called Blood Moon from Zelda Tears of the Kingdom collection. The daughter fell in love with this skein, and she would like to have socks out of this. So that's fine with me. It's a gorgeous skein. And I think when I'm making socks, it's much easier for me if I'm making them for others and not for myself. Because I think when it's for me, I kind of lose motivation. Because I feel like I don't really need, socks. That being said, I picked up this skein, which may or may not be used for socks. And that was from the Royal Bee Company. And you can see why. I absolutely had to have this color. This is on her fingering base, 100 grams. 75% superwash merino, 25% recycled nylon, approximately 400 yards. And this is called Teal Honeywort. Absolutely fell in love with this color. And let me just tell you, the skein is so soft. Oh, so soft. And so, came away with that. From Gems Luxe Fibers, I had to have the Underworld. I was like, oh my gosh, that skein is awesome. And then, of course, looked at the name, and of course, it's the Underworld. There was another one that I was thinking about getting. It was like mostly black with a white streak with multicolored speckles on it. But I decided to just get this one. And so this is on her Luxe sock base, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards, 100 grams. So, yeah. Had to have that one. I got some stickers from Magic Land Yarn. So you can see that's kind of like the Disney sign, right? And she had just come out with a Haunted Mansion colorway, which had these colors in it. Haunted Mansion is one of my favorite rides in Disneyland, but purple is not my favorite color. So I passed on the Haunted Mansion yarn, but I'm definitely going to need to look at their shop more because Disney inspired, that's like right down my alley. And so, yes. And then from Buku Yarns, I also picked up this Dino Doodle deck. I had gone to Buku before I'd gone to Yarnatius, and so that's why I picked up this deck at Buku. But it's the Dino Doodle deck, and there's a bunch of like different like dinosaur charts and things. So I thought that might be really fun to create maybe a strange brew yoke or something. And then the last thing I have here is not yarn. Well, it's not the last thing, but I picked up this shawl pin that's made out of a knitting needle from Burr Oak Studio. And they had a bunch of different designs. I just thought this one was probably the safer one just because the needle portion is short, so if you accidentally stabbed yourself, it wouldn't do too much damage. Plus, this needle was a little bit thicker. They had thinner ones also where you could like weave it through your fabric and things, but I just thought that this would be a better option for me. I needed one for my Comfort Fade cardie that I had done because it doesn't stay closed for me enough where it lays nice in the front, so I much rather have it pinned. And I've just been using like a stitch stopper, like one of those ones that looks like a safety pin when I wear that. And I'm not entirely happy with that because I don't have one that really like matches. And so when I saw this one, I thought, oh, that would be perfect because it's nice and big and it's like a statement piece and it would look really nice in the front of my Comfort Fade cardie. So I picked that up. But they had a bunch of different like designs and different colors and things like that. I just thought this one would be the much more practical one for me. And so very happy with that. Okay, on top of all of that, I got 3 project bags. So I saw this one, which is a Lord of the Rings inspired fabric. And it's like really like thick. This is from A Needle Runs Through It. A Needle Runs Through It. And so she had a bunch of these types of bags, and this was the color that caught my eye. Really, really nice padded fabric. And then they had a shawl clip. So I thought I do have that one shawl, and the reason I don't wear it is because I don't know how to like keep it shut. And so I thought maybe this might help me wear it. And so we're going to try this out. And so I just got a regular like black knit stitch or stockinette stitch design on it. And then they had a little vending machine type thing. And because I had spent a certain amount, I got a token for the vending machine. And so inside there were these little progress keepers, stitch marker things. And so like this one says wrong side. This one says back. And then this one is a cat. And then this one is also, or this one is a chicken. This one's a chicken. And so I thought that was really nice of them to give away. And so that's what I got from them. And then I picked up this project bag. Had to have the Sesame Street characters. Oh, I don't remember who this one is from though. Oh, it's from Chaos Fiber Company. And it's not as like thick and spongy as the other one, but there's definitely like a bit of protection in there. Had to have the Sesame Street bag. So picked that one up. Immediately caught my eye because she was walking down the aisle with this, and I don't know like where she was going or if she was showing it to somebody, but this was the bigger of the two bags that she had in there, and the smaller one wouldn't have really been like a good size for me, and so I would much rather have the bigger one. And she had come back with it, and I was like, oh. And so I thought, you know, it's a sign. She brought it back, so had to come home with the Sesame Street characters. And then for the last thing was this. So this is the bag in the thumbnail. I believe this is also from Hello Gabby. And I absolutely had to have this bag. Let me just make sure. Yeah, so Hello Gabby. It just says thank you for your support. She was really nice as well. Very, very nice conversation with her. We were talking about how people don't really like the large sweater bags. I'm like, I don't understand that because I love large sweater bags. And so because the advent that I'm going to be using is My Little Pony this year, I thought, you know, this is the perfect bag for that. So inside of this is my advent project for December. And that's kind of why I'm showing it to you last, because inside is already the start of my project. So I am doing the Paul Klee sweater by Midori Hirose. It's going to be a color work yoke, 2 colors per row, just kind of going down the yoke. And so by the end of Advent, I should, if I get it all done, have a yoke completed, and then I just have to do the rest of the body. So because I had all of the colors for the yoke, I needed to purchase a main color for the rest of the sweater, and I decided to go with this one from Knit Picks. So this is Stroll Effects in the color Pearlescent Tonal. It is like a bear with lots of different colors of gray in it, and I thought that would be really nice. So instead of going with a solid, it would give it a little bit of interest and still be like a neutral enough to be okay with all of the colorful yarns that I'm using in my yoke. And so that's what I purchased from Knit Picks in order to do this sweater. So I did get a start on it last night because you got to do the neckline before. So I'm about halfway done with the neckline so far. I will tell you that I did not swatch. I'm being a very, very bad knitter. I have heard that gauge is a hard thing to match with Midori Hirose's work. And in looking at the gauge for this sweater, she's asking for 22 stitches per 4-inch gauge on the medium size needle, because you need to use 3 different sizes of needles for this sweater. So I know that I get 24 stitches per 4 inches with fingering weight yarn on a size 4 needle, which is what I'm using here. So I thought, okay, size 5 needle would be perfect. This sweater is meant to be worn with 6 to 10 or 12 inches of positive ease. For the size that I chose, is going to give me 6 inches of positive ease. So even if it's slightly smaller, I still have 6 inches of positive ease to play with. So I'm not too concerned about how off my gauge might be. So I'm just going to fly by the seat of my pants. I don't think there's going to be much difference because, like I said, I know that I get 24 stitches per 4 inches with a size 4 knitting needle and fingering weight yarn. And so I'm going to use a size 5. But this is a size 4 needle, and that's what I'm doing the ribbing on. This is going to be my smallest needle, size 5 for the main stockinette. And then the color work, supposedly you're supposed to go up a bit. So I'm going to use a size 7 and see. You know, it's all part of the fun, I think. And this definitely took a little bit of stress off of me. But yes, this is what I've got so far. Like I said, I've got about half of the ribbing done. I need to try to get the rest of the ribbing and the setup rows done before tomorrow, because it is the last day of November already. And so that's my plan for this evening. And then for the yarn advent, I have it here. This is my Little Pony, A Very Minty Christmas advent calendar from 2020 or 2021. I can't remember. But all of the colorways are here. So the way that this sweater is worked, you've got 2 colors per row. And so I'll need to do, I'll need to open 1 and 2. I've already opened these before, so it's not like a huge surprise to me. And like I said, I've already taken a look at all of the skeins unwrapped, so that I knew that this would probably work well for this sweater pattern. But I can tell you that the first 2 colors are Pinkie Pie and Minty. And those are 2 My Little Ponies. And so I'm really excited to get this started. And so, yeah, I am excited for this. I think it's going to look really, really fun. I'm not going to be too concerned about how the colors look. I'm just going to let it go with the flow, and it'll be an interesting experience. And so I'm really excited for that. So I'm going to start the color work hopefully tomorrow, provided that I do finish my ribbing and setup rows this evening. So that's my big yarn haul. Like I said, the Fiber Festival was fun. It was a 2-day Fiber Festival, but I ended up only going for 1. And I feel like that was enough. I didn't feel like I needed any more time. I do think that if I went for the second day, I would have spent more money. There were a couple of things that I was looking at that I ultimately decided not to get. One was a customizable Swift that was made with like make your own colors. I thought about that a lot. It would have been quite a purchase because it was quite expensive, considering my Swift cost me like $10. these Swifts were like 175 and up, but they were gorgeous. You choose your colors, you customize it. And so I was really, really looking at that. And then the other thing was a walking kind of yarn cake holder. So, all those things that people are using to like knit in their car, knit while they're walking, and it kind of holds your yarn cake on a bracelet thing so that you can knit while you're like standing in line or whatever. I was looking at one of those. And that wasn't too expensive. It was only it was less than $20 for a customizable one where you got to choose your colors and things. And I ultimately decided not to get that because as I was looking in the booth, the lady was talking to another booth holder and didn't even acknowledge me at all the entire time I was in her stall. And so I decided not to purchase from her. I will say some of these yarn vendors were very, very nice. And there were others where I'd gone into their stall and they did not even look up once from whatever they were knitting, because a lot of them were knitting while they were waiting for people, to look in their boots and whatever. Did not look up once from their knitting, did not acknowledge me, and I thought that was not great practice. And I am really, really glad that the people that I did intend to visit were very, very nice people. All of them acknowledged me. And like I said, they checked in with me multiple times, and I was very, very happy with the people that I did end up purchasing from and all of the things that I did end up coming home with. And so ultimately it was a very nice experience. I came home with things that I'm very happy with, and now I just need to make plans for all of it. And so I think that is everything that I have to say for my Yarnie update section. So that'll lead me into my plans for December. So typically what I do in December is Vlogmas, where I record a little bit every day and then compile it all, wrap up the books that I'm reading during the week, because I am going to do my manga advent calendar project, and then publish on my normal Disis19 Diaries day. So the videos end up being pretty long. Like this one's going to be long, but I'm wrapping up like 2 weeks worth of stuff for you, plus a large yarn haul. They're usually like an hour half or so. And I think this year, to try to shorten the videos, I'm not going to be checking in every day. I will still do a Disis19 Diaries every week. But for my advent calendar openings, that includes the manga advent calendar and my yarn advent calendar, which I have purchased, I'm going to do those in shorts. So if you're interested in seeing what I will be reading for the week and the yarn that I'm getting in the yarn advent calendar that I purchased for this year, they'll be in shorts. That's my plan anyway. I haven't actually recorded any of them. I am very, very behind and delayed with that. So my plan is to try to film the first one after this video. Hopefully it'll work. I'm hoping that I don't talk too much. I can get it down to 1 minute. And then I'll be able to have daily shorts for you so that you can see what I will be reading every other day, because the manga advent packets will have 2 volumes of manga in it, and then I'll have a yarn advent opening every day to the 25th, because I did go with the full skein option to have that extra full skein for Christmas Day. And so that's the plan. Things could change, but that's the plan as of right now. So if you have seen some shorts before this video, things worked out the way I intended. If you don't, then all of the openings will be included in the Disis19 Diaries for next week. So I think that's pretty much all that will I'll be up to in December. I don't have any like plans to like join and knit along. Yeah, I think the Paul Klee will keep me pretty busy. Plus, I want to, make a pair of Christmas socks for my daughter. And maybe finish my Mostly Ghostly before the end of the year. I didn't bring it to show you this week because while I did have progress, it's just a sleeve. It's still, I haven't finished that sleeve that I was working on. So we'll see if I'm able to finish that sweater this month. But I think the Paul Klee will keep me busy enough. Plus, like I mentioned before, work is always busiest for me this month of the year. And while I am on vacation for this upcoming week, de-stressing is kind of my main priority right now. So just trying to kind of like take it easy. Normally, this time of the year, I have 2 weeks off. I take the week of Thanksgiving and the week after to like revitalize and de-stress. And my previous boss, who is no longer my boss but kind of tries to act like he still is, has told me that I can no longer take 2 weeks off unless I'm traveling somewhere. Now, I don't know that he can actually do that, but that meant that I had to work Thanksgiving week. So that was interesting for me. I have not worked Thanksgiving week in over 15 years. Because traditionally I always took off the Thanksgiving week and the week after. So we'll see how I do mentally and emotionally in December, not having that extra week. Hopefully it'll be okay. Hopefully it'll be okay. But I'm not going to know because, like I said, typically this time of year I usually take 2 weeks. So I don't know how only having the 1 week will affect my state of mind. And so, yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. And that's kind of why I'm trying to like lessen the load as far as the YouTube stuff goes. And yeah, that having the openings on shorts should help me with the editing process as well, because the videos won't be as long, there won't be as much footage, and therefore it shouldn't take as long. And so, yeah, that's the plan. I did do my annual rewatch of Titanic yesterday, so I was still able to do that in November. Typically, during my vacation, I always watch Titanic. It's just a traditional thing for me. I don't know why. I always watch it in November during my vacation. So I did that last night. Really enjoyed it. The family watched with me too, my mom and my daughter. They haven't watched the entirety of Titanic in years. And so it was really nice to watch with them. And they usually come in like right when the ship is sinking, and they always miss like my favorite part, which is the very beginning of the movie where they're showing the deep water footage of the wreck and the discovery of, the things and all of that. And I absolutely love the beginning of that movie and seeing all of that documented footage and stuff, because it doesn't look like that now, right? And pretty soon it'll no longer be. And so it was really nice to sit down and watch that movie with the family. Not sure if we're going to be doing more movie watching while I'm on vacation, but we definitely have some plans. And so it's part of my whole like trying to get out more type thing. And I think it's going to be fun. So I think that'll wrap it up for me today. It's been a long one, but I had lots to share. And I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you've been to a yarn festival before and what your experience has been. What do you usually prep like before you go to a yarn festival? Do you just go and buy whatever kicks your inspiration, or do you go with a plan? I think the part of that for me was thinking that, okay, I'd go with a plan and that would help, and I think it did. But, I bought more stuff outside of that plan. So I'm glad to have been able to support all of the makers. And I definitely got introduced to a bunch of different companies that I had never heard of before. And so all of that was really great. But let me know what your strat is to preparing to go to Yarn Festival, because this is an entirely new experience for me. And while it was fun, it was a little bit stressful. So let me know that. Let me know what you've been up to the last couple of weeks. Did you celebrate Thanksgiving? Or did you prep for Christmas already? If you celebrate, do you have all of your gifts planned out or purchased? I think I've got most of the stuff taken care of. I'm a little bit late on getting them out to the post office, but that's something that I plan to rectify this week since I'm on vacation. And so, yeah, let me know how your holiday shopping's going. Did you celebrate anything over the last couple weeks? Did you have a nice meal? And what is your favorite snack or dessert this time of the year? I would really love to know. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a Christmas tree emoji, because it is that time of the year, down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.